And don't forget about watching us over at SuperTalk TV. And our SuperTalk Mississippi news team, they are always bringing you the news to you wherever you are. You can catch them on about 50 stations across the state, but you can now find them on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So just go to supertalk.fm/news on the go to keep up with what's going on across the state. But it's Monday, so we got our favorite Caleb Sailors here to tell us the good news over at SuperTalk Mississippi News. So welcome, Caleb.
I'm glad to be someone's favorite. Thanks, Rebecca. And look, first of all, now I will say about favorites, Rhino is my favorite because he is a man of the people listening. That song that he played at the intro is actually called I Got the News. It was a request from me, but great song.
Oh,
Good
I love that.
lead in.
He's the best.
And here's the deal. I got the news. And Rebecca, we got some really good things happening in Mississippi, things that have happened in Mississippi. One, I do want to, first and foremost, thank our veterans, thank those who have served and who continuously serve in our military. We don't really, I don't think we give them the appreciation they deserve. And, days like today, I think about my late grandfather who served in Vietnam and my other grandfather who's still alive, and I talked to him earlier, and people who have served our country and done a lot for us. And the freedoms we have, we can't take that for granted that we have them because of their sacrifices. And so I do shout out to all of our veterans, shout out to all of our soldiers and troops. We really appreciate y'all, and thank y'all for all y'all do. I had to do that, Rebecca, to start us off.
What you said.
But, some of the cool things happening in Mississippi, we've got a cool sports story, and it has nothing to do with Ole Miss winning a big game over the weekend, nothing to do with our football, but the Belhaven soccer team, the men's soccer team, has won their first ever conference championship.
All right.
And they are heading to the NCAA tournament. Now, things won't be easy for them in the NCAA tournament. They'll be facing Trinity, who is incredible, has not lost a game this year.
Good team.
But the Blazers had their first ever conference championship after moving up to the NCAA. Now, when they were NAIA beforehand, they were dominant in soccer. They were awesome. And they're still good, but they were just trying to break that glass ceiling. And they did that in a 2-0 victory over top-seeded Covenant in a rematch of last year's conference championship game. Belhaven got to the precipice last year. They just couldn't get over the edge. And this year, they did it. And their women's soccer team, unfortunately, made a big run in their conference tournament, but was eliminated, and they're not going to make it any further. But they made it far in their conference tournament. And look, this comes after it's been a successful year for Belhaven Athletics. Their softball team went to the national championship this past year, and they won game one, but they got back-ended and knocked out. But they were the runners-up in the NCAA Division II or Division III rather. Softball. So a lot of good things happening there. Really cool for our local universities.
Yeah, go ladies.
Yeah, right. Cool
or
for
Blazers.
Right, go Blazers in general. But cool for them because, a lot in Mississippi, the spotlight's typically on Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Southern Miss, or even Jackson State, our Division I programs. But sometimes our D2 or D3 programs don't get the recognition they deserve. And so really cool for Belhaven. And Rebecca, I've already started to hear Mariah Carey on my radio.
I don't know if there is a way I could twist his arm to make him play for Rhino to play that. I bet I could get him to play Cher's Christmas album before he would play Mariah Carey's.
Well, speaking of which, though, and I trust me, I'm one of those wait till after Thanksgiving to play the Christmas music, but I will say I'm going to be dialing into this new album. It's called Heartfelt Family Christmas from our favorite trio, Chapel Hart. I love those ladies to death. I love when they come on your show, and I love when I get to hear them perform. They're great. I remember, Rebecca, hearing them live for the first time. They did the national anthem. Ole Miss was playing Alabama in football in 2022. And I'm not going to lie, I'm an emotional guy, and I had tears going down my face, and my buddies were looking at me like, what's wrong with you, man? I'm like, it's Chapel Hart. These girls made history, and, they're great, and y'all got to listen to them. Tune in. And they've got a Christmas album, and the lineup has been unveiled, the track list of the album. Really, a lot of renditions, like their own Southern country version of some of our favorite songs, and got a really, really cool, not guest, but featured list on there. I mean, Vince Gill, who is immensely talented. I mean, he's been touring with the Eagles, for goodness sakes. I saw him earlier this year in concert. Darius Rucker, who's obviously really good friends, close with Chapel Hart. And Gretchen Wilson,
that's fun.
The redneck woman herself, is also on the album.
That's a fun song, yeah.
Right. I'm as soon as I get a chance to listen to all these songs, I might be listening to Christmas music a little early this year, Rebecca. But it's really cool for Chapel Hart to rise to the country music scene as quickly as they have, and for them to continue. I think everybody like that's in Nashville or in those spheres that talks about them just has raving reviews, not just about how talented they are, because they're immensely talented. That speaks for itself, but how good of human beings they are, how cool they are, how nice they are. And it really makes Mississippi look good. A lot of things that happen in our state that may not make us look so good, they're like a shining beacon of light of this is what Mississippi is. This is what our hospitality is all about. And this is how talented we really are as a state.
And aren't they on the road right now?
Yes, I mean they're about to be traveling like internationally.
Yeah.
And they have not stopped. I think since they were on America's Got Talent, they've just been all gas, no brakes, and more power to them. Shoot, if I could do that, I would too.
Absolutely. So what else we got?
We got Shivers Creek Fish House. It's based in Crystal Springs. It's going to be on America's Best Restaurants, the Road Show, the road version of that show on the Food Network. And the filming will be not this Friday, but next Friday at the Crystal Springs location. It'll be a 3-hour window from 3 to 6 p.m., I believe, is when they're going to be filming the show. Really cool. They're going to have a lot of their favorite dishes, the fan favorite dishes on display. So obviously it's a fish house. You'll see the catfish, the hush puppies, the coleslaw. I
always wondered how those things work, like the taping of those things work.
Yeah, I don't know.
So like if you know when they're taping, I'm sure you would need to get there early if you actually wanted a table.
Right.
But if you got there early and got a table, you'd be like, in the back, hey, Mom.
Like, what's up? I'm on TV.
They have to have because usually it's like a working day at the restaurant. And so you see all those people and they'll just stop and ask you a question or whatever it may be. How cool would that be?
Oh, I mean, shoot, now you got me thinking about what are my plans for next Friday, Rebecca. I might be making a little trip up to Crystal Springs. I got family up there, so I might go see some of my family in Crystal Springs and go check out the show. But the show will be aired. At a later date. They haven't specified when it will be aired on TV, but Shivers Creek Fish House will announce that on their Facebook page. So if you go check them out on social media, they'll keep you posted on that. And they're doing some giveaways too. So I think a couple of $100 gift cards too. So like literally go check them out on social media. And if you're in the Crystal Springs area or traveling south, stop by and go eat.
Say that's an easy one to say, hey, look, I got to eat somewhere that was featured on whatever.
Right.
You don't have to wait till it comes out. You can add that to your list.
You
of
can go
places.
eat there if you have a bucket list of going to places where the Food Network has been. That's one of them, and they will be on next Friday.
And just because you've had a fish plate means you've only had a fish plate. All fish plates are different. So go get you a new one.
I mean, and that's easy to say in Mississippi. I've been to, I'm not exaggerating when I say a gazillion fish houses here. And there is not one singular fish tray, plate, platter, etc. that's the same. And it doesn't even just have to do with the fish. Sometimes the fish may taste the same at one restaurant or another, but then you've got special hush puppies. Some have jalapenos in them. Some have corn or cheese or other things. And then the French fries are not always the same. Some have greens on their plate, or some have potato salad or coleslaw. No, And look, I'm an eater. I love to eat, so I'm here for all of it. So yeah, it's just I love seeing our restaurants on display too, because I know maybe not for the better sometimes, but our food here is so good, and it's good to see that being kind of magnified on a national scale.
We're definitely good at it. You had a good weekend.
I had a good weekend, Rebecca. I was exhausted yesterday. I woke up yesterday morning. I was like, I need to go to church. I'm going to go to church. And I did. I went to church. I did. I got home late Saturday night. I was in Oxford. A little thing happened at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. A little team, Ole Miss, beat a little team, Georgia. I don't know. Something happened. But no, historic night in Oxford. Ole Miss was on the verge of being eliminated from the college football playoff. The team has never been in the playoff, and this is the first year they've expanded it from 4 teams to 12 teams. And Ole Miss had to get a win. They have to win out the rest of the way. And this game was, a huge one on the horizon. Ole Miss had not won against a top 5 opponent since 2015, so almost 10 years. And number 3 Georgia rolled into town, and Georgia was 48-0 against teams not named Alabama in the past 4 years. So the odds were not stacked in Ole Miss's favor. So I did some writing, I did some digging ahead of the game, and I looked at it, and I'm like, all signs point to Ole Miss winning this ball game. Even though I'm not going to pick Ole Miss to win or beat Georgia because that's just not something that happens, all signs point to them winning this game. We had a squirrel run on the field for the second home game in a row. They had that happen 2 weeks ago against Oklahoma. We had fans rush the field prematurely, had to get taken off the field, but then Ole Miss got the win, and the field goal posts are somewhere to be found in Oxford. Tore them down.
But I know that's also your team. So as a fan, what was that like?
See, I've kind of taken a step back from the fandom. I'm reporting, I'm writing, so I've
shush.
taken. I promise.
How was it as a fan?
The fans were really happy.
How was it as a fan?
It was cool.
Thank you.
It was cool.
Yes, you can separate
You stopped
it.
me, Rebecca.
It's okay to have a favorite. I'm over here like, go team. And everybody can find the good stuff where?
SuperTalk.fm/lifestyle.
All righty, you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up.